Okay, let me start my class. Hope you are able to see my screen, right? Yes or no? Are you people able to see my screen? Hmm? Are you people able to see my screen? Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, so in the last classes, we have seen what is spread spectrum, why it is required, and how to generate the PN sequence to spread the spectrum. All this we have seen already. Okay, and here we have also seen the properties related to the spread spectrum. So here we have seen how to get the PN sequence, okay, and what are the properties, how to verify them. All that we have seen already, okay. And then see here I told you that we will be able to spread the spectrum by using the PN sequence. So how exactly we are able to do that? Okay, so direct sequence spread spectrum. So how the transmitter and receiver of this will see now. Okay. So coming to the transmitter, you will have the transmitter circuit in this way. So B of t is some sequence. Okay, B of t value will be equal to +1 if bk is equal to 1, and it will be equal to -1 if bk is equal to 0. In the same way, C of t is again the binary sequence only. Okay, only thing is in 1 bit duration you will have the PN sequence. The complete PN sequence will occupy 1 bit duration. Okay, so that is what C of t. Again, the C of t consists of zeros and ones only. Okay, so C of t value will be equal to +1 if Ck is equal to 1, and it will be equal to -1 if Ck is equal to 0. So this is what the diagram I have drawn. So B of t is nothing but 1 bit duration 0 to TB, and C of t, whatever PN sequence you have, whatever PN sequence you will have. Okay, so 0 0 0 0 1 0 or 1 1. Okay, all these are nothing but your PN sequence. 0 0 1 0 1 1 is your PN sequence. Okay, so this is your PN sequence. So after TB seconds, what will happen? The PN sequence will repeat again. Okay, it will again repeat. Okay, so within 1 TB, okay, whatever data you have within that 1 TB, you should have complete PN sequence, and the each bit duration the PN sequence is given by TC, which is said to be the chip duration. So here we are calling it as chip duration because this many number of chips should be generated in 1 bit duration. Okay, so that is what TC. TC is nothing but the chip duration. Now what we need to do, we need to get M of t. M of t can be obtained. M of t. M of t can be obtained by multiplying B of t with C of t. Okay, when you multiply B of t with C of t, I'll get M of t. So what I'll do, I'll just multiply these two signals, B of t and C of t. Okay, so from here to here it is 1, the amplitude is 1. So 1 multiplied with this will be the same signal. So I have taken the same signal until TB seconds. Okay, from here to here it is TB seconds. After TB seconds, this is minus 0, it is 0. 0 is -1. So -1 multiplied with this one, it will be equal to minus of whatever I have here. If I have -1, if I have -1 here, I'll get as +1. If I have +1, I'll get -1. Okay, so that's how I have plotted it. Okay, so if you just observe here, this is what the resultant waveform M of t. So M of t, if you just check, each bit duration here is nothing but TC. Okay, so bandwidth here is nothing but 1 by TC. Okay, so what is happening? The B of t signal bandwidth was nothing but, B of t bandwidth signal is nothing but 1 by TB. Okay, TB is more, so bandwidth here will be less. C of t, what is happening? Bandwidth is equal to 1 by TC. Okay, where TC is the chip duration. So TC is small, so bandwidth will be more. Now after multiplying M of t, if you just observe the signal M of t, it consists of it consists of zeros and ones again, and each bit duration here is nothing but TC. Okay, each bit chip duration here is nothing but TC. Okay, so TC is the duration here. So 1 by TC. 1 by TC is nothing but TC is small. So 1 by TC will be equal to more. So what you are doing? B of t is the original signal whose bandwidth is very less. Okay, now what we have done, we have used this PN sequence and we have generated M of t whose bandwidth is high. Okay, so that is the reason what I'm saying. I'm saying that the message signal, what is the message signal? B of t. B of t is the data sequence or the message signal. That message signal is modulated by using the C of t. Okay, since you're modulating it using C of t, what is happening? The bandwidth is increasing. Okay, the spectrum is spreading. Okay, so here this is what the transmitter of your DSS is, direct sequence spectrum. Okay, so directly you are taking this sequence and you are spreading it. Okay, so direct sequence is spread spectrum. Okay, so this is what related to the transmitter, and here we can calculate. See, and one more thing what you need to understand here is within 1 TB. Okay, if you just observe here, within 1 TB, we have generated complete PN sequence. The PN sequence length is n. Okay, n is nothing but the length of the PN sequence. So your TB should be equal to n times TC. Okay, TB should be equal to n times TC or TC. TC is nothing but the chip duration. Okay, each chip duration should be equal to TB by n. Okay, and if I have n is equal to 7, then I need to get 7 symbols within TB. Okay, if I have n value is equal to 15, then my within this TB, this complete TB should be divided by n value. Okay, so that TB by 15 will give me how much duration the that can be there for the chip. Okay, this each bit duration in the PN sequence we call it as chip. Okay, the chip duration can be identified by TC, can be given by TB by n, or we can write as n is equal to TB by TC. N is equal to TB by TC. Okay, here I have introduced one more parameter here, which is nothing but the processing gain. Okay, processing gain again it is given by TB by TC. The ratio of TB by TC will give you the processing gain. Or I can write the same thing as see, I have TB by TC. I can write it as 1 by TC. Okay, and you also know that TC is nothing but TB by n, or n is equal to TB by TC. Okay, the same TB by TC is also the processing gain. Okay, so that's why I've represented as n is equal to PG is equal to TB by TC. And again, this TB by TC can be represented as 1 by TC. Here I have TB by TC. I have taken this TB up, so 1 by TC, and this TB I can write here. So it is 1 by TB. 1 by TB in the denominator. Okay, so if you just recall, this 1 by TC is nothing but the bandwidth of the signal after spreading. Okay, bandwidth of the signal after spreading. So bandwidth after spreading is given by 1 by TC, and bandwidth after before spreading is 1 by TB. Okay, the original signal, the time duration is TB. So bandwidth is equal to 1 by TB. Okay, 1 by TB. So 1 by TB in the sense 1 by TB is nothing but bandwidth of the signal before spreading, B of t signal's bandwidth. Okay, so this is what the one more parameter, processing gain, which is given by TB by TC. Okay, and here what it means, here I am saying that spreading, after spreading and all that. Okay, so what does it mean is, see, I have a signal like this. This is nothing but your B of t signal, spectrum of this B of t signal. Okay, let me assume that the bandwidth of this is 1 kilohertz. Okay, 1 kilohertz is the bandwidth of this signal. Okay, so what will be the you know that TB is equal to 1 by 1k is equal to 1 millisecond. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to spread this signal. I'll write as B of f, because B of t spectrum will be represented in the frequency domain. So this is B of f signal. Okay, now what I'm doing, see, I have found the duration as TB is equal to 1 by TB is equal to 1 by bandwidth. Bandwidth is nothing but 1 kilohertz. So it will be equal to 1 millisecond. Now I need to find TC. TC is nothing but, you know that TC is equal to TB by n. Okay, TB is nothing but 1 millisecond divided by n. n, let me assume the same n value. N value, let me consider it as 4. N value, let me consider as 4. Let n value is equal to 4. Example, so for example, okay, n value is equal to 4. So 1 by 4, it is nothing but 0.25 milliseconds. So each chip duration should be of 0.25 milliseconds. Now let us find the bandwidth of spreaded signal. Spread signal. Okay, spreaded signal. Okay, so it is given by 1 by Tc. So 1 by 0.25 milliseconds. So if you just simplify that, this you'll get as 4 kilohertz. Okay, 4 kilohertz. Okay, so what is happening? If you just observe here, this is the original signal bandwidth. Now what is happening? The spreaded signal bandwidth, I've got it as 4 kilohertz. Okay, so it is more than this. So what is happening here? The bandwidth is getting spreaded. This is 4 kilohertz. Okay, this is nothing but the spreaded signals, spectrum. Okay, B of f is the original signal spectrum and M of f is the spreaded signal spectrum. Okay, so here what I'm doing, I'm spreading it. Okay, so here I'm saying that spreading the signal will provide security. How exactly it will provide, that we'll see now. Okay, and mainly this spread spectrum techniques are used in military applications. Okay, so now let me just take the M of t. See here what we are doing, we are multiplying B of t with C of t. We are multiplying B of t with C of t, so that I am getting M of t. This M of t should be passed through the channel. Okay, passed through the channel. So it is providing security in the sense, like if somebody want to interfere the transmitted signal. Okay, so in that case, what will happen? The spread spectrum techniques will provide security. That is what it means. Okay, now what is that? M of t. M of t is nothing but the transmitted signal. From the transmitter, it is transmitting transmitted signal. It is transmitting M of t. Okay, M of t is nothing but the transmitted signal. Now this transmitted signal, I am giving it to the channel. Okay, this is nothing but the channel. Okay, channel where see somebody some person want to send the fake information. Okay, fake information. So in the military applications, let me consider that some transmission is happening and I am the jammer, in the sense like what I will do is I just want to introduce some fake message into the transmitted signal. Okay, so what I'll do, I will introduce some signal which is called as jamming signal, J of t, which is nothing but the jamming signal. Understand here once again. See here the spread spectrum techniques are used to provide security. Okay, security, how it is providing security, that is what we are going to learn now. Okay, how it is spreading is seen in the transmitter circuit. Now what we are doing, we are learning how this spread spectrum will help to provide security. That is what we want to do. Okay, now so one such application is in the military. Let me consider my M of t is some message that I want to transmit it through the channel. Okay, and some X person want to send some fake information. What he will do, he will introduce some signal. Okay, in the channel might be this free space or whatever it is. So in the channel, what the person will do, he will just provide the signal J of t, which is said to be the jamming signal. Okay, and the jamming signal will just look like the actual information B of t. It means that even this J of t is nothing but the narrowband signal. Let me reiterate. M of t is a transmitted signal. This is spreaded now. M of t is spreaded. Okay. Now this spreaded signal I am transmitting it through channel. Okay. And at the channel, what is happening? J of t. Some X person is inserting some additional information which just looks like the actual information that is given by J of t. J of t is nothing but the interference signal or the jamming signal or the noise signal, whatever you want, you can call. Okay, generally we call it as jamming signal. Okay, jamming signal is introduced at the channel. Okay, the jamming signal is again the narrowband signal. Why I am calling it as narrowband? Because this jamming signal will just look like its characteristics will be same as your actual data sequence. Okay, so even this is narrowband signal. Okay, narrowband signal. Okay, the bandwidth will be less. Those signals are said to be the narrowband signals. Okay, so narrowband signals. So let me consider R of t is the output of the channel. So this is what is happening at the channel. Like the jammer is introducing the jamming signals, which will be just like your actual data. Okay, so R of t is the output now. So R of t is nothing but M of t plus J of t. What is happening to the M of t? This J of t is getting added. Okay, so that is what is happening. Now what I need to do? I need to transmit this signal. I need to receive the signal. See, I'll have the receiver. Okay, so DSSS receiver, direct sequence PET spectrum receiver. Okay, so it will be in this way. So R of t is the received signal. Okay, so this R of t which is coming from the channel, it will be received by the receiver. Okay, at the receiver, what I'll do, I have the receiver circuit in this way. So if you just recall, in the direct sequence PET spectrum, I have to use the same PN sequence, whatever PN sequence I am using at the transmitter end, whatever sequence I'll be using at the transmitter end, the same sequence I should also use at the receiver end. So C of t is at the receiver end. Okay, so receiver end also I'll use the same C of t signal. So that I'll get Z of t. Okay, this Z of t, what I'll do, I'll pass it through the low pass filter. Okay, so that I'll get the estimated signal, estimated output signal. So how this is working, how this is here, what should happen? See, here I am spreading the signal. M of t is a spreaded signal. I have to despread it now. Okay, here at the receiver I need to despread it. Okay, so this PN sequence I'll be using for despreading the data. Okay, so how it is done, we'll see now. Okay, so before that, let me just take the equations. Z of t is nothing but R of t into C of t. Okay, R of t into C of t. R of t is nothing but B of t. What is R of t? R of t is nothing but M of t plus J of t. M of t is again, it is nothing but B of t into C of t. Okay, plus J of t. Just check here. M of t is nothing but M of t is nothing but B of t into C of t. Okay, so that I have represented here. M of t is nothing but B of t into C of t plus J of t. So that I will substitute here. So R of t is nothing but B of t into C of t plus J of t. This alone is what is received by the receiver into C of t. So this will be equal to B of t into C square of t plus J of t into C of t. This is what your Z of t. And you know very well that B of t into C square of t, if you just recall, when we took C square of n, okay, what was that value we were getting? 1. Okay, in the same way, C square of t, if you just find out the value, it will be equal to 1 only. So this value will be always equal to 1. Okay, so since that is equal to 1, you will have Z of t as, B of t plus J of t into C of t. Okay, if you just look at the Z of t equation, which is coming out of the multiplier here, Z of t. So Z of t contains B of t signal, which is nothing but the original signal, and J of t into C of t. Okay, J of t is not the actual data, but it looks like the actual data. Okay, so looks like the actual data in the sense its time period will be same as your B of t. Okay, now what is happening? This is getting multiplied with C of t. Okay, J of t is getting multiplied with C of t. So when you multiply J of t with C of t, what happens here is it will spread the signal. Even this J of t into C of t will get spreaded. Okay, J of t into C of t, this will get spreaded here. J of t signal, the jamming signal is getting spreaded. Okay, so because it is getting multiplied with C of t. C of t is nothing but the PN sequence. Okay, this J of t will look like the B of t signal. It means that the time period of this J of t will be same as your B of t signal, original signal. So that is getting multiplied with C of t. So what is happening? It is spreading. Okay, the bandwidth is increasing. See, that's what I have explained you here. See, this is my some signal with narrow bandwidth. Now what I'm doing, I'm multiplying that with the PN sequence. That with PN sequence, okay, PN sequence with chip duration as TC. Okay, so what is happening here? It is spreading, right? M of f signal, whatever I'm getting is spreading, because when you are multiplying B of t with C of t, its spectrum is getting spreaded. Okay, so here instead of B of t, I have J of t, because J of t is nothing but it looks similar to your B of t signal. Okay, so whatever spectrum B of f will have, the same spectrum this J of t will also have. Now what will happen? J of t into C of t, here the spectrum will spread like this. Okay, since the spectrum is spreading like this, now what I'm doing, if you just check the circuit here, this Z of t should be passed through the low pass filter. Okay, so when you pass it through the low pass filter, what happens? This spreaded sequence will be eliminated. This spreaded sequence will be eliminated. It means that your estimated output will be finally equal to estimated output will be finally equal to Z. Estimated output finally will be equal to B of t after passing through low pass filter. Okay, so this is how the transmitter and the receiver is working. Okay, so the same analysis I will also explain you in the frequency domain. Okay, frequency domain. Frequency domain analysis. The same thing I will explain you using frequency domain analysis. So you have B of t signal, which is nothing but the data sequence. This is the data sequence B of t. Okay, if B of t. Okay, so if you take the Fourier transform, I'll get as B of f, and I'm considering it to be the narrow band. Okay, so this is how the spectrum will be. Okay, so this is how the spectrum will be. Now what I'm doing, I am multiplying this B of t with C of t. Okay, and C of t is the wide band. Okay, wide band signal. I'm multiplying it with, okay, I am multiplying this B of t with C of t, so that my spectrum is like this. Okay, the spectrum of this PN sequence, this is nothing but the PN sequence spectrum. Okay, the spectrum of this PN sequence will be high because the duration is less, so the spectrum will be more. Okay, to differentiate this one and this one, I have just represented it as spread like this. So this is nothing but C of f. Now what I'm doing, I'm generating M of t. M of t is nothing but B of t into C of t, so that I'll get M of f. M of f. If you just recall, your spectrum is spreaded again, because see, whatever C of t signal you have, the same C of t signal is repeating for each bit duration. Okay, maybe the polarity may be changing, but it is repeating. Okay, let me just show you the waveform. So see here. Okay, so this waveform, whatever C of t signal is there, the same signal I'm getting here, but here when I have B of t value as -1, it is just the inversion of whatever I have with C of t signal. Okay, so if you just see here, again the bit duration or the chip duration here is TC. Okay, TC. So however the C of t signal is its spectrum is, the M of f spectrum also will be in the same way. So now this is what my spreaded signal, spreaded spectrum. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm transmitting this M of t, not B of t or C of t. I'm transmitting this signal. Okay, so what is happening for this signal? at the channel, if you just recall, I'm introducing jammer signal, J of t, J of t. So let me consider J of t, it is J of f. And I have told you that this is nothing but the jamming signal. Jamming signal. And I've told you that this jamming signal looks like a B of t. So even its bandwidth will be same as your B of t signal. Okay. So this is what the spectrum for your J of f. This is for M of f. This is for J of f. Okay. Now what I'm doing, I'm giving it. So this the receiver, the channel. At the channel, what will happen? This M of t signal and this J of t signal will get added, so that I'll get as R of t. Okay. R of t is nothing but the output of the channel. Okay. So R of t, it will be equal to R of f. Okay. R of f. R of f consists of. R of f. R of t is this. R of f is nothing but M of f plus J of f. Okay, from this I have just applied Fourier transform to this, so that I have got as R of f is equal to M of f plus J of f. So you may have the signal R of f will be like this. This is what the actual J of f signal. Okay, and it will get added with M of f. Both will get added, both the spectrums will get added. Okay, now what I am doing, I am transmitting it through the product multiplier once again. Okay, Z of t. Okay, product multiplier again. R of t is multiplied with C of t once again. Okay, so what is that I am getting? I will get as B of t plus J of t into C of t. Okay, so it's nothing but receiver output, receiver multiplier output. Okay, I have a multiplier and I have a low pass filter. Okay, so multiplier output Z of t, I'll get as Z of f. Okay, so Z of f is nothing but what is it? Z of t I have as R of. I'll just write the final equation here. B of t plus J of t into C of t. Okay, so here again, if you just observe, J of t is getting multiplied with C of t. Okay, so what will happen? The spectrum, the J of f spectrum, it will spread. Okay, how it will spread? It will spread like this. So this is nothing but your J of f spectrum. Okay, now B of t, it is nothing but B of f. This is what the spectrum of your B of f. Okay, B of f. So this is what how the spectrum will be at the receiver end. Okay, now what I'm doing, after Z of t, I'm giving it through the low pass filter. When you pass it through the low pass filter, what happens? All this portion will be eliminated, because it will not, you know that the low pass filter will allow only a specific low frequency components. So all these are low frequency components, so it will allow, and these all rest all it will not allow. Okay, so your spectrum will be this one. Okay, but still here you may have little more portion of your J of f that can be eliminated by increasing n. If you increase n, even this will not be reflected in the output. Okay, so as n increases, what happens? Spreading increases. See here in TB seconds, if you just see this circuit in TB seconds, if you just observe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 bits you are accommodating. Okay, so if you are increasing length here, in the sense from here to here in TB seconds, let me consider initially it is 6. Now what I will do, I will make n value is equal to 14. Okay, so what happens, within TB I need to get 14 pulses. Okay, the more number of pulses, the more the bandwidth will be. The more the bandwidth, the spreading will be more. The more, so as n increases, what is happening? Spreading is increasing. Okay, as it is spreading more, the noise interference decreases. Okay, so this is what will happen. in the when you use this direct sequence PET spectrum techniques in your transmitter and receiver. Okay, direct sequence PET spectrum when you use in your transmitter and receiver, this is what is happening. Okay, transmitter and receiver. So how I'm saying I'm using direct sequence PET spectrum, because I'm using the PN sequence. Okay, using the PN sequence, I'm spreading the signal at the transmitter in, and using the same C of T, I'm despreading it. Okay, so when I despread, I'm getting back my original signal. Okay, and if you want to completely eliminate the interference signal, you need to increase n value. As n value increases, the spreading will increase. If the spreading is increasing, what happens? The noise interference will be less, because whatever the jammer is introducing the signal, okay, it will it will have the characteristics similar to your actual data signal. Okay, so this is all the introduction. See why I'm calling it as introduction, because if you just see the circuit, here I have not this transmitter and receiver, whatever I have shown you here, it is not suitable for long distance communication. Why? Because see, if you want to transmit it through the channel, long distance communication through the channel, then the antenna that should be used at the receiver end should be very high. Okay, so if you don't want to use the and which is not practically realizable. So if you don't want to use one second. If you don't want to use the high height antenna at the receiver end, what we will do, we will generally modulate the signal and will transmit it. So here what we are supposed to do, we have to modulate the signal. Okay, we have to modulate the signal and transmit it. So whatever previously I have shown, it is only meant for short range communication. Short range communication. Okay, and if I want to go with the long range communication, okay, long range or long distance communication, then obviously I need to employ modulation techniques. Okay, which modulation techniques I have to use here? Again, it is all your this one digital modulation techniques only, because even the PN sequence, whatever you are generating, it is nothing but the binary data or digital data. Okay, so that is the reason we'll go with the digital modulation techniques. Okay, digital modulation techniques plus the direct or SPED spectrum. You have different methods, like spread spectrum techniques are basically two types. What is that? Direct sequence spread spectrum and frequency hop spread spectrum. So first we'll go with direct sequence. See, whatever we have studied here, it is direct sequence is spread spectrum only. Okay, so for long range communication, you need to use spread spectrum techniques along with the modulation techniques as well. Okay, modulation techniques like PSK, FSK, like that. So for the DSSS, this is direct sequence spread spectrum, direct sequence spread spectrum, we'll use BPSK and frequency hopping. Okay, hopping in the sense shifting. Okay, how it is hopping and all, we'll see in the further classes. So frequency hopping, spread spectrum. These are the two techniques of spread spectrum. So in the DSSS, we'll use BPSK modulation, and in the FHSS, we'll use frequency shift keying. Okay, generally here we'll employ MRE FSK. Okay, MRE in the sense M will not be equal to 2. Other than 2, it can take any other values. Okay. Again, this FHSS is divided into two types. Slow FHSS. Next one is fast FHSS. What is the slow FHSS and what is this fast FHSS? We'll see in the further classes. Okay, now first let me go with the direct sequence. spread spectrum with BPSK. Okay, so generally in the exam, if they ask you to explain the generation and detection of DSSS, then you need to go with this only. Okay, whatever, that's why I've told you, whatever I'm explaining here, it is all introduction. Okay, so I just want to show from where. From here, whatever I have taught you, it is all introduction only. Okay, so in the exam, if they ask you to explain the generation and detection of DSSS with relevant waveforms, then you need to go with this only. Okay, again I'm specifying, if they ask you to explain direct sequence spread spectrum, you have to go with this only. Okay, even in the notes you'll see all this also, and even this. Okay, so you have to go with this. Okay, when they ask you in the exam. Okay, so again here we'll see the a transmitter along with BPSK. So if at the transmitter end you are modulating it, at the receiver end you need to demodulate it. Okay, so let me just first give you the transmitter diagram, DSSS transmitter. So it will the same thing. What will happen here? B of t, and you'll have C of t, so that you'll get M of t. This is the normal whatever you have seen before. Just before this, whatever I have shown you, this is the same thing. Okay. Now what I'll do, I will code this. NRZ polar line coding. Okay, what it will do is, if M of t is directly, I will not use this, I will directly go with the, anyway here only B of t. Okay, B of t, this I am getting, no, B of t value will be equal to +1 or -1. Okay, so or +1 is represented as root EB, -1 it is minus root EB. Generally we'll take it in this way. Okay, so that will get multiplied with C of t, and here I will have the BPSK modulator. Okay, or here I'll just specify. See, anyway, when you multiply these two, B of t and C of t, because I have written as B of t is equal to +1 if for symbol 1, -1 for symbol 0. C of t is nothing but same. +1 is equal to +1 for symbol 1, -1 for symbol 0. So here what I'll do, I'll use NRZ polar line coding. So what this will do is, if M of t is +1, then it will give as root EB as output. If it is -1, then it will give us minus root EB. That's all. That's what it is going to do. So plus EB in the sense it indicates 0 degrees phase shift. Minus indicates it is 180 degrees phase shift. Okay, so that is what will happen here. That's it. Okay, now I have BPSK modulator. Okay, so at the BPSK modulator, what we'll do, we'll have the carrier. Okay, phi of t, which is nothing but root 2 by TB cos 2 pi FCT. Okay, so if you can just recall your BPSK modulator, it will be in the same way. So there directly you were getting M of t signal, directly you were getting B of t signal. Okay, B of t. Here instead of this M of t, you used to have directly B of t signal, and then you used to give it to the NRZ polar line coding, so that it will give you plus root EB if it is 1 and minus root EB if it is -1. Okay, so here additionally what I have done, I have multiplied this B of t with C of t, so that I am getting M of t. This M of t I am coding it in this way, and that is given to the BPSK modulator. Okay, so this BPSK modulator, what it will do, if I have symbol 1, so it will provide some output. Let me name the outputs also, and say let me name this as S of t, this let me name as X of t. X of t is nothing but S of t into phi of t. Here you will have the product modulator. In the sense, you will have just a product multiplier like this. Okay, so what it will do, it will take s of t and it will take phi of t, multiply both of them and give the output. So that output I am naming it as x of t. That is what is happening at the BPSK modulator. Hope you people are understanding, right? Are you understanding? Are you understanding? See, let me just show you how we had our normal BPSK without any DSSS. What will happen here? We'll have B of t signal, and this B of t signal we used to give for NRZ coder. NRZ coder, what it will do? If I have 1, it will give us root EB, and if I have a 0, it will give us minus root EB. Okay, so that is what this NRZ coder will do, and that is given to the product modulator. So here I used to get as s of t, that will get multiplied with phi of t, so that my output is nothing but x of t here. Okay, maybe the names, this phi of t have not changed, but s of t, maybe the names whatever I am using here may differ, that's all. Okay, so otherwise this is how it will be. Okay, so here what we are doing, I am not giving b of t directly, instead I am giving it to the multiplier, where this multiplier will multiply b of t with c of t, so that I'll get m of t. Why I am doing this? Why I am multiplying it with c of t? Because to spread the spectrum. Okay, so that I am getting m of t. M of t is coded in this way. Okay, so that is what the difference between your normal BPSK signal without direct sequence spectrum, and here with spread spectrum. This is how the circuit will be, or the block diagram is. Okay, now we need to analyze it. Okay, so let me just show you what will happen here. This is what my original data signal. Okay, original data signal. This is my B of t signal. 0, TB, 2 TB. Okay, this is my original data signal. Let me draw this little bigger. What is happening at the transmitter end, I am just explaining you. This is your T. Okay, so now this should get multiplied with C of t. Okay, C of t. Okay, let me consider like 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 is my what is that, C of t signal. So you know that if it is 1, I will take as plus 1. If it is 0, I will take as minus 1. So this is minus 1. Let me divide. All the bits will be of same duration. Okay, don't get confused, because because of lack of space I have drawn it in this way. Okay, the same, you know that PN sequence is a periodic sequence. So 1 0 0 1 1, again it will repeat 1 0 0 1 1. Okay, so this is the repetition. So whatever within TB, I should get one complete PN sequence set. Okay, so here I have 1, so it will be represented as plus 1. Next I have 0, so minus 1. So again I have 0, minus 1. 1 I have, so plus 1. Again 0 I have, plus 1. Again 1 I have, so plus 1. Let me take the interval here also. Again I have 0, so minus 1. Again I have 0, minus 1. 1, so plus 1. 1, plus 1. So this is what my sequence C of t signal. Okay, now C of t. See, if you just observe, C of t should get multiplied with M of t. Sorry, C of t should get multiplied with B of t. C of t. Okay, so just see here. Just see here. I have complete 1. 1 will get multiplied with this signal until here. So it will be the same C of t sequence. Whatever C of t sequence I have, the same sequence I'll get here also. Hope you people are following, right? So until TB, whatever signal I have for C of t, the same thing will be there. Why? Because this C of t is getting multiplied with B of t. B of t value is +1 here, and accordingly, if C of t is +1, I'll get +1. If C of t is -1, I'll get -1. So that's why I will have the same signal as here C of t. But here +1, -1. Until here, this is TB. So until TB, it will be same. Okay, after TB, what is happening? This is 1 and this is 0 for B of t. So B of t is 0 in the sense complete thing is -1. Okay, -1 will get multiplied with this. See, it means that +1 into -1, it will be equal to -1. -1 into -1, it will be equal to +1. -1 into -1, it will be +1. 1 into -1, it will be -1. 1 into -1, it will be -1. It means that it will get inverted. So whatever signal I have for C of t, it will get inverted when B of t is 0. So here I have 1, so I'll get 0. 0 in the sense -1. 0, so 1. This is how it will happen. Okay, so this is how the M of t signal is. Okay, now what I'm doing, M of t signal, it will have root TB with 0 degrees. It means that it will be in phase and it will be equal to minus root TB if it is 180 degrees. So what happens here is, this is my modulated signal. Okay, modulated signal output, I am writing it as X of t. Okay, or let me write, let me first draw S of t. S of t is nothing but, if I have +1, it is root TB. If I have -1, it is minus root TB. So you will have the signal in this way. So +1, so plus root TB, and here to here. +1 plus root TB, -1 plus root TB. This is minus root TB. -1 minus root TB. So from here to here it will be same, minus root TB. Again I will have plus root TB minus plus root TB minus root TB Okay, so this is what my S of t signal. Okay, now X of t. I need to have the carrier also, right? What is that carrier? Carrier signal is sinusoidal signal. So here one declaration. See, understand the concept. Okay, so here I'll have the carrier signal. Let me take my carrier signal in this way. One bit duration, I have one cycle of sinusoidal signal. Its amplitude and frequency will be same. Okay, so carrier signal. This is my carrier signal. Root 2 by TB cos 2 pi FCT. Okay, so this is what my signal. Now what I'll do, I have to multiply this S of t signal with phi of t. This is nothing but here phi of t signal. I have to multiply this with this. So when this is +1, I'll have in phase. Okay, so plus root EB into this one, so I will have in phase component, minus root EB into this one, so I will have a phase shift when I have a 0. Okay, so that's what it happens. So here just check the signal here. So here plus root EB will get multiplied with phi of t. So I'll have the same signal from here to here. Let me just draw the okay, so plus root EB into this one, it I will have the same signal. Again plus root EB, this signal, I will have the same signal. Now minus root EB into this one, into this. Okay, so I will have phase shift. Again minus root EB into this signal. So again it will be phase shift. Okay, again here I have one root EB into this signal, so I will have the same same signal, in phase signal with the carrier. Again here it is plus 1 plus root EB, so again I will have the same thing, minus, so it will be tilted. So the phase shift is happening here. If you just observe here, it will be in phase. See, this is like this, even this signal is in the same way. Again 1, so 1 into this, it will be the same one. Okay, then minus root EB into this, I will have the tilted version. Okay, again here also in this bit interval also, I will have the tilted version. So this is nothing but the x of t signal, which is the output of the BPSK modulator, output of the BPSK modulator. So here if you just observe, what is happening, if I have a 0, then 180 degrees phase shift is happening. If I have 1, there is no phase shift, and then 0 degrees phase shift. That is what is happening here. So that is what your x of t represents. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are first multiplying the binary sequence. We are first multiplying the binary data with the PN sequence, so that we are getting m of t, and this m of t is getting modulated. Okay, so that modulated waveform only we have represented here. Okay, so if m of t value is 0, okay, so 0 in the sense 0 bit 0, okay, then there will be 180 degrees phase shift. If m of t value is 1, then there won't be any phase shift. That is what is shown here. That is what we have obtained here. So here what we are doing, we are modulating it. Okay, and we are modulating it and we are transmitting it to the transmitter. Okay, hope you people are understanding, right? Are you understanding? Is this clear? Is this modulator clear? Nobody is listening in the class? Purnima? Purnima? Bhavna? Prajwal? Nobody is listening. For whom I am teaching them? Why are you not answering, ma? Are you understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
What is how we are modulating the signal which is spreaded? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So in the frequency domain, I'll just show you here the same thing I have shown in this way. Here I'll just represent it normally. That's what the B of f. B of f, it's 1 by minus 1 by TB, 1 by TB. So the bandwidth of B of f signal is 1 by TB. And next I'll take the spreaded signal. So this is nothing but M of f. C of f. C of f. C of f is nothing but the PN sequence. In the frequency domain, it will be minus 1 by Tc. Here it will be 1 by Tc. Okay, so the bandwidth here will be equal to 1 by Tc. Now what I'm doing, M of f. I need to get M of f. M of f is nothing but C of f. See, M of t. M of t is nothing but B of t into C of t. Okay, so M of f will be nothing but B of f convolution with C of f. Okay, multiplication in the time domain is equivalent to convolution in the frequency domain. So if you just convolve, you'll get the signal in this way. Okay, so this width will be minus 1 by Tc minus 1 by Tb, both will get added. Here also minus 1 by Tc minus plus 1 by Tc plus 1 by Tb. This is how you'll get. Okay, we need not calculate the exact thing because we don't know the exact values. Okay, but when you try to convolve this B of f with C of f, this is how you get. But generally the bandwidth here will approximate it to 1 by Tc because 1 by Tb is very less. Okay, because TB is very more, TB is more, so TB is more, 1 by TB will be less. So bandwidth for here M of f is nothing but 1 by Tc. So here what is happening, the bandwidth is spreading. Okay, so using the transmitter along with the PN sequence, using the transmitter in the transmitter by using the PN sequence, this is nothing but the PN sequence. What we are doing, we are spreading the spectrum. Okay. So now we'll see the receiver as well. Okay, it's time up now. Okay, fine. From receiver we'll see tomorrow. Okay, that's all for now. If anybody have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, the class is done for the day.